Good morning, everyone. My name is Deeksha Devgan. I am BIQS coordinator. I belong in operations team, so I will be working with a lot of you. Today, we're going to cover workplace org, our FTQ here, what it means in terms of standardized work, and how do I validate the training that you are trained at your primary station. And what do we do in terms of cross training, and also a really important audit in terms of operations, related to operations, and how do we protect ourselves from not making a bad part. So with that being said, I'm going to start with workplace org intro. So what is a workplace org? It is a 5-step process. A lot of you might have heard a 5S, it's a Japanese system, but we use similar criteria, just different titles for our 5S. It is where a team can learn to identify and eliminate waste, to improve safety, quality, and productivity by committing to workplace standard and continuous improvement initiative. The objective for this training here will be, how do we understand what a 5S is? What do we do in terms of implementing it? And the process and how do we do it is by understanding 5S general process. How do we implement? And then it's really important, how do we audit ourselves? And also, how do other people audit us? So what are 5 steps? 5 steps are clear, organize, clean, maintain, and continuous improvement to eliminate waste. For clear help us eliminate unnecessary item, free floor space to organize the necessary item, reduce inventory, and free resources. 3 E's, easy to see, easy to get, and easy to return for organize. Cleaning equals inspecting. Maintaining, what does maintaining do? It's the foundation for continuous improvement. It establishes acceptable guidelines, support and improve quality. For continuous improvement, process require ongoing inspection and follow-up to ensure standardized work is maintained. For continuous improvement, process does not automatically improve. Following standard will only maintain but not improve. So continuous improvement focus on the entire process, which is first we standardize, we maintain, identify waste, and problem solve in order to do continuous improvement. What are the objectives and benefits of eliminating waste? It improves safety, increase employee involvement and enthusiasm, increase quality, free resources, free floor space, reduce inventory and part number, increase competitiveness, reduce cost, and increase customer satisfaction. So I'm just gonna quiz you guys. Talisha, if you can dim the lights a little bit in the room. After learning the 5S and what the 5 principles are, what do you think is wrong with this picture?
You got stuff overlapping stuff, and you got the big stuff on top of the small stuff.
Correct. So it's not organized, very cluttered. What did we do in order to do 5S was we organized it. We labeled everything correctly. This is a glove cabinet. We cannot put any other stuff in this cabinet. So you will see that on the floor once you go inside. What about this picture? The cleaning supplies they don't really have a place. So people are just putting them wherever they feel like it. What we ended up doing was we put a shadow board. It's all over our plant. There are 3 shadow boards in the clean room. Once you go inside, you will see those. This is where we put all our cleaning supplies. So it's easy to see, easy to get, and easy to return. What about this picture? It's a very unorganized desk. There are parts here. There's a coffee cup with no lid on it. So what we ended up doing was we ended up putting these L-shaped white corner tapes around, your cabinet, your garbage can. So once the cleaning people come, they know where to put your things back. And also, coffee cups should have lids on them to avoid spillage and destruction of company's property. This is really, really important because we do implement a lot of these color coding guidelines, especially for clean room. So blue is for quality item, operation gauge, gauge table, gauge card, quality information display. Other quality related item are all in blue. Green is for our parts, the parts that we use, raw good parts, in process good parts, and finished good parts that are ready to ship to customer are all green. Scrap is for Red is for scrap materials. So all the scrap bins that we have out of the floor, scrap carts are all red in color. Yellow for us, we use yellow for suspect material, especially in the clean room. So anything that has, that you're not sure whether this is a non-conforming product or a suspect product, that will all be yellow. White is for all other items. So like you saw in the previous picture for the desk, we had L-shaped white tapes on the floor. That was for any other item, housekeeping item, trash bins are all in white. And then orange is for orange crush zone, where our high-low traffic is quite a lot. We need to wear a safety vest in our high-low traffic area, which is basically the entire warehouse. And if by any chance you guys will be working for it at the end of line stations, you will have to wear a safety vest, safety glasses, your safety shoes, and gloves if you're handling parts. So it's really important to follow these guidelines, and especially in orange crush zone, to protect yourself and for your safety. Um, Going back to the three colors, green, red, and yellow, we do use a lot of green tags. Our FTQ is around, depending on the day, it's between 70 to 80%. That means, out of 100 parts that we build per shift, 30 might be suspect or might be bad. So we do not scrap these transmissions as they're really, really expensive. It's $7,500. So it does not make sense to scrap it. We do do a lot of rework to it. Like we take out a bad part, put a new part in, and then we run it through the line again. So it's very important to label your parts correctly, as it will get really, really confusing if you do not label them right. So green tags are used for good parts only. Green tags will be used parts that are ready to be reintroduced back in the line, that are ready to be reintroduced or reused in terms of gears or shaft. Red scrap will only be used, or red tags will only be used for the scrap parts. The parts that we cannot reuse or the parts that we definitely will be scrapping are all red. Yellow are all non-conforming or suspect. For example, once you run the line, there is a pinion station or BIQS station. A lot of the times, if our patterns are not right, we will take the transmission out with the parts in it, and we will just label it as yellow, and we're going to fill out what the reason is for taking it out from the line. It's really important to follow those color coding guidelines and also filling out your tags properly for people to identify what the issue was with it and where can it be reintroduced. Now that we have learned all of this, this is a sheet where what we use to audit our own stations and to do daily task, weekly task, and monthly task. On a daily basis, we're going to maintain clean and clear horizontal surfaces, sweep entire area, maintain items in designated footprints, maintain housekeeping supplies, change trash as needed. And then on weekly basis, we're gonna mop entire area, dust the tops of all cabinet, wipe clean all cabinet, wipe clean all tables, clean all drip trays. And then monthly basis, we're gonna sweep floors and robotic cells. There are 3 robotic cells. It's really important to clean those on a monthly basis. So these were the daily tasks that we do, and then this is the sheet that we use to audit ourselves. And then twice a week, your team leader will be auditing you, and then once a week, supervisors will be auditing you, your station. So now, since we've learned, I wanted to ask you guys, what is red color used for?
Yeah.
Correct. What about green?
Green, that's all the things we use, right? All the
Green
material.
is used for good material.
Yep.
Yeah. And then yellow. Yellow is used for suspect and non-conforming parts. Okay, we are done with workplace org. Moving on to the next presentation, work instructions. What are the common symbols that we use on a work instruction, and what do they mean? So a green cross symbol is the safety symbol. It indicates presence of safety equipment for team member or where safety special precautions may be required by team member while performing their work. It is really important to know that green cross symbol is used for
Diksha,
safe. Yes?
we're still looking at the old screen.
Sorry. I keep forgetting to share my screen. Work instruction.
There we go.
Okay. Green cross symbol. So it indicates presence of safety equipment for the team member or where special precautions may be needed. Very important thing to know about green cross is this is for the person who is performing job at the station. It's for you. It's not for safety of the transmission or any other thing. It's for the safety of the person who's performing the job. Then again, blue diamond symbol. Blue is quality. So blue diamond symbol is used for quality symbol, specific quality check performed by a team member. It can be an initial check or subsequent check. So you will see a lot of blue quality symbol on our work instructions just because we are making a really special transmission, and it's really, really important to install a part correctly, to inspect part correctly before you install it. The inverted delta with SC symbol is a critical symbol. For us, we have 4 different stations in our clean room. All those 4 different stations are related to parking feature of a transmission. So it's really important to handle those parts correctly and gently and with care. If it's you have to pay special precautions at those 4 stations. Check your part before you install it. Do not mishandle the parts because these are really, really important parts, and they're mainly aluminum, so they can get scratches, they can be damaged. If you do end up dropping a part on the floor, just scrap it. We do not want to use dirty parts and damaged parts in our transmission, especially related parts related to the parking feature of a transmission. And if you do end up, it's important to know the importance of the SC symbol is because it can cause catastrophic failure, plant shutdown, legal liability of a critical piece of equipment. So if, for example, if you do end up installing a bad part and it does reach our customer who's driving the car, can you imagine if you're driving a Corvette and not being able to park your car? It's a really, really bad thing. And it's really important to handle those parts with care. And then lastly, ergo symbol. E symbol, it's associated with key points to avoid possible repetitive injury or trauma. We do end up teaching all our employees different stations, and there are 3 stations in particular. where we do lift up, a case, an empty case of the transmission, which weighs about 10 to 12 pounds, and then differentials that weigh about 12 to 15, and finally the clutch, which also weighs around that, 10 to 15 pounds. If you do feel uncomfortable not working there, you can let us know and we will shift you to another station. But those are the three stations where we do ask people. We are in the process of getting new lift assist. Eventually, we will have lift assist for all these three different parts. But right now, since we do not have anything, we ask our employees to lift up the part physically. Any questions regarding this? Okay. So this is what our work instructions look like. You can see an example where in step 2, you do see a safety symbol and a quality symbol, is because this is a step that has clutch installation part in it. So it's really important to install. First of all, the clutch is a little heavy, around 10 to 15 pounds. So it's important to handle it with care. Every single one of these clutches are extremely expensive and they come pre-assembled from our Mexico plant. Um, they do cost a lot, like around 2 to 300. I'm not exactly sure what the cost is, but super important to handle it with care. And then the quality symbol is related to once you install it, has to be completely seated properly. And also you install it on top of a shaft. So it's important to not damage the shaft, stator shaft, not damage the rings on the stator shaft. So that's why you see a quality symbol on it. Then to the left-hand side, this is very important for every station. You have to verify correct material for the stations are available. For assembly, they should be free of defect, which is burrs, sharp edges, deformation, missing holes, or any other damage. If you do end up dropping a part, please tag it and notify our team leader ASAP. If it is a big part, you end up dropping a bolt or O-ring or a spring or something like that, just put it in the red bin. We just do not want to use dirty debris parts back in our, or damaged parts in our transmissions. This is a clean room. So in a clean room, the environment is obviously super clean. We do have a really high level of air quality, air filtrations, and that's why we wear a smock. It looks like a lab coat. We handle all our parts with gloves for our own safety, and also we do not want our parts to be dirty. We do require all our employees to wear steel toe shoes or composite shoes. Tremec employees will all get steel toe shoes through Tremec that we have to wear within the building. If you have to wear them outside, you have to wear your own shoes. And for new employees, we do ask all our employees to put a shoe cover on your shoe, so we do not enter a clean room with dirty shoes and make our clean room dirty. Also, why do we wear a smock is because we do not want any kind of debris or any kind of particle dropping inside a transmission. This is how much our cleanliness requirements are for this transmission. If you do, we require all our people to tie up their hair, put a hat on your hair if you have shorter hair, because this can cause a huge failure at our end-of-line test, which we have seen a lot of it. No big jewelries are allowed in the clean room, and all the parts should be handled with gloves. So this is your safety requirement. If you do end up not having all these things, let your supervisors know and they will provide you, safety glasses, hats, shoe cover, hair cover, everything else. Any questions regarding work instruction? Okay. So like I said, our first-time quality right now is not up to where we want it to be. It's our target is obviously, like 95, 98%. We are way far behind from a target. We are making progress on a daily basis, but working as a team is super important. If you do not feel comfortable running your own station on your own, let your supervisor know. We will provide help. If you do not feel comfortable handling any part, let your supervisor know. And we have add-on system now. So if your station goes over time, um, past your limit, which is 6 minutes right now, every station will run at 6 minutes per station. That means we will be making 10 pieces an hour is the goal for right now. We want to be better, but this is our goal as of right now. If you do end up getting overcycle, your alarm for the station will ring. So before the alarm rings, let your supervisor know what your issue is. They can provide help ASAP. Whether it's a maintenance help, engineering help, but you have to escalate it to your team leader and your supervisor. If you do end up having issues with your parts not being able to scan or any other issue, again, let your team leader know that you're having issues with the part scanning or you got wrong parts delivered. All these things you have to let your supervisor know, because we do end up recording what our hourly, number was, what we actually achieved, and what the reasons for downtime were, and how fast did we resolve those issues. Any questions regarding that? Okay, and then let me share this. Can you guys see my screen of first off check sheet?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a really important audit that you have to do right when you start and when you run your very first part. I've just given an example for S4 station. I'm gonna go over a few items. So first, your audit for the station has to be, actually, let me go over this too. First off, check sheet should be completed at A over here, which is the start of the shift. B after model change. So when we switch from ELSD to MLSD or vice versa, or once we add more models. C after tool adjustment, which is your C, column N. D after machine maintenance. This is column O. E is after unexpected stoppage during the shift. And then place 1 in the start of the shift column to indicate why verifications are being performed. The pass and fail determination goes in the 1 column for the appropriate day. If reasons B or E occurred, through E occurs, place 2 an appropriate column to show why verifications are being performed again. So pass is the tick mark, fail is X, NA, non-applicable is NA. So this we keep the same sheet throughout the week, which is Monday through Sunday. And let's say if you're doing this audit, start of your shift, you're gonna say A, and then you're gonna do your tick mark on the very first column, which is number 1 for that day. So easy ones are, check for your material, ensure all correct material are available and all free of debris. So it's very important to use correct and clean parts for your transmission. Another really important ones that I usually look at are the cameras. These are your error-proof device. So if your camera is not working correctly, you need to know and escalate to the right people immediately, because you don't want your camera to not be working and false accepting the parts and giving you a false statement that yes, your part is good, but it's not good. What do we do in terms of camera? We do a reverse test. So here, for example, it says ensure vision capture, presence of split cage needle bearing. So once you install the split cage needle bearing, it's a little bearing with tiny needles on them. You install it, you press opto, the camera will take a picture and it will let you know whether you're good to go to the next part or not. You do a reverse test on this camera thing where you will not install a needle bearing and you will hit opto to let camera take a picture. And if the camera says, no, 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 you cannot run because the needle bearing is not present, that means the camera is working. But if the camera says, oh yeah, go ahead, install the next part, that means the camera is not working and you need to escalate to your supervisor so they can call for help. Really important to do these tests because, like I said, it will protect you from making bad parts. And all our parts have 100% traceability, so we know where the issues occurred for end-of-line test failure. And also, if we end up shipping bad parts to customer, we will know exactly what transmission number it is, who made that part, what date occurred, what time it occurred. Everything is traceable. So it's really important to protect yourself and do these daily checks correctly. Next is how am I going to verify whether you guys are trained or not? So we use a JIT sheet for that. Let me open that up. It's called job instruction form. So over here, I'm going to put down your name, team member name, what team you belong in, and what shift, whether you're yellow, green, or blue. After that, we're going to see column B. I'm going to go through all the little rows of column B for that station. Let's say you're running S4. Let me make it bigger so you guys can see it. You guys are running S4, so I'm going to go through A, review safety documentation and information, review standardized operating sheet. Right now we do not have those. Review workstation documentation and other information. Once you do that, you're going to go to step 2, which is present operation. Review operator work instruction and tooling operator assist devices. So this is really important. You have to review work instruction. You have to see your trainee performing the job at least 25 times. And then you can demonstrate the job. You know the sequence of the job and you know how to do it correctly. Once you know all these things, you will get 1 pi of the circle. For step 3, which is 2 pi of the circle, this is where we say that you are good enough to run the station on your own. You're going to perform operation, explain major steps, key point, and reasons why, practice and confirm quality. So over here, I'm going to ask you, hey, because I said our first time quality is pretty low compared to our standard, we do have a lot of quality alerts posted at the station. It's really important before you even run the station to be aware of the quality alerts that are at your station and what do they mean and what are we doing to not make the same mistake again. Review standardized tool. So you connect your work cycle to actual takt time. Our takt time, like I said, is 6 minutes for every station. You need to connect where you are compared to 6 minutes. Then review miscellaneous items, for example, error proofing and on material. So over here, I'm going to ask you, show me your first off verification sheet that I just reviewed over and show me how you do the test. If you cannot perform your first off verification sheet correctly, that means you're not good enough to run the station on your own and your training will be failed. Like I will come back again within next 2 or 3 days and check again whether you're good enough to do your first off verification or not. So it's really important to learn how to do your first off verification. And then review quality check expectations. Once you do all of this, you will get 2 pi of the circle. Step 4 is for 3 pi of the circle. We do a safety check, standardized work check, quality check. Then you can run the station within 6 minutes. is stack check. Standardized tool check, you know how to do error proofing check, you know how to identify your correct material. Your andon is always green, which means you're always meeting your target of 10 jobs an hour. Workstation documentation, verification, and then you can get 3 pies of the circle. And then the 4 pie of the circle, which is you're good enough to train everyone else. That's all I had. Thanks, guys. Have a good day and welcome to Tremec.
All right. All right. Thanks, Diksha.